Nobody was supposed to hear that conversation. Not Carly, not anyone. But in Port Charles, secrets have a way of slipping out at the worst possible moment. And this time the truth didn't just slip, it landed exactly where it could cause the most damage. Carly Corinthos wasn't looking for trouble when she walked into the Metro court. In fact, she was doing the opposite. After everything that's happened between her and Nina, Carly wanted distance. No fights, no drama, just peace for once. But the second she stepped inside, something felt off. It wasn't obvious at first, just a feeling, a shift in the air. The kind of instinct Carly learned not to ignore. And then she heard Nina's voice. At first Carly didn't react. Nina being there wasn't unusual. But within seconds, something about the way Nina was speaking made Carly slow down. Her tone was low. Controlled. Like she was choosing every word carefully. That's when Carly realized this wasn't a normal conversation. Nina was on the phone, and whatever she was saying, it mattered. Carly didn't move closer right away. She stayed where she was, just listening. Not trying to eavesdrop, but not walking away either. Because something in her gut told her she needed to hear this. Then it happened. "I told you, Carly can't find out about this." Carly froze. Every muscle in her body went still. Her name, Nina just said her name. And not casually, not like a passing mention, this was serious, urgent. Carly's heart started pounding. Now she wasn't just listening. Now she was locked in. Nina continued, her voice tighter now. "If she finds out everything we did, it's over. I'm not letting that happen." Everything we did. Carly's mind raced instantly. That wasn't just one mistake. That sounded like a plan, like something ongoing, something calculated. Carly leaned slightly, trying to hear better without being seen. "I don't care what it takes," Nina said. "I already fixed it once. I can fix it again." That line hit hard. Fixed it? Carly's expression changed immediately. That wasn't normal. That wasn't harmless. That sounded like Nina had already covered something up before. Something big enough to need fixing, and now, it sounded like she might have to do it again. Carly's stomach dropped. This wasn't just a secret, this was something dangerous. Nina paused, listening to the person on the other end. Then she spoke again, quieter this time. "No, Sonny can't know. Not yet. If he finds out now, it'll ruin everything." Now Sonny was involved. Carly took a slow breath, trying to keep herself steady. Nina was hiding something, something connected to her. Something connected to Sonny, and whatever it was, it had already happened before. This wasn't new, this was a pattern. Carly's mind started connecting pieces. Every strange look Nina gave her. Every moment that didn't quite make sense. Every time something felt off but she couldn't prove it. What if all of that wasn't random? What if Nina had been hiding something this whole time? Carly glanced around quickly. The last thing she needed was to get caught listening. Nina was still distracted, still focused on the call, completely unaware that everything was starting to unravel. "I'm handling it," Nina said firmly, "just stay quiet. No one else can know," and with that, the call ended. Silence, but for Carly, nothing was silent anymore. Her thoughts were loud, fast, out of control, because now she knew, Nina was hiding something big, and she was willing to do whatever it took to keep it buried. Carly stepped back slowly, making sure she stayed out of sight. She couldn't confront Nina, not yet. Not without knowing the full truth. Because walking in without answers, that could backfire. Badly, and Carly didn't make moves like that. Instead, she made a decision. She was going to find out everything, every detail, every lie, no matter how deep it went. Because if Nina really had a secret powerful enough to ruin everything, then Carly needed to know before it was too late. And one way or another, she was going to get that truth. Carly didn't leave the Metro court right away. She couldn't. Because once you hear something like that, you don't just move on. You don't pretend it didn't happen. And you definitely don't ignore a warning that clearly had your name in it. Carly stayed close, keeping her distance but watching carefully. Nina had no idea she'd been overheard. And that gave Carly something valuable, an advantage. For now, Nina slipped her phone into her bag, took a breath, and tried to compose herself. But Carly saw it. The tension, the nerves. The way Nina's expression didn't quite settle. She was shaken, which meant whatever she was hiding, it was already starting to crack. Carly's eyes narrowed slightly. Good. That made things easier, because people make mistakes when they're nervous. And Carly was very good at catching mistakes. Later, Carly sat alone, replaying every second of that conversation in her mind. She went over each word, each tone, each pause. There was fear in Nina's voice. Real fear, and Nina wasn't someone who scared easily. That meant one thing. This secret? It wasn't small. It wasn't harmless. It was something that could destroy lives. Carly started thinking about the possibilities. What could Nina be hiding that involved both her and Sonny? Something from the past? Something recent? Something illegal? Her thoughts kept circling one idea. Manipulation. Because Nina had done it before, and if she had already fixed something once, what exactly did that mean? What had she done? Meanwhile, across town, Nina was starting to feel the pressure. She tried to go about her day like nothing was wrong, but it wasn't working. Every sound made her tense. Every glance made her wonder if someone knew. Because secrets? They don't stay quiet forever. And deep down, Nina knew. Time was running out. Back at the Metro court, Carly made her move. Not a confrontation. Not yet. Instead, she approached it differently, carefully, strategically. She started asking subtle questions. Nothing obvious. Just enough to see how people reacted when Nina's name came up. Just enough to notice if anything felt off. And slowly, pieces started forming. Then came the moment that changed everything. Nina received another message. Carly didn't see the full screen, but she saw Nina's face. And that was enough. Because the reaction was instant. Shock, fear, panic. Nina quickly turned away, trying to hide it, but it was too late. Carly had already seen, and now, there was no doubt left. Something was very, very wrong. Carly stood still for a moment, processing everything. Then her expression changed.